Hi, I'm Stalnaker, and we are live in the ICE Hub here at COP26, the International Climate Negotiations in Glasgow, Scotland. I think of this as the Harry Potter Hogwarts room. It's upstairs, it's isolated, away from all the madness downstairs. Joining me now is Bianca Pitt, who is the co-founder of She Changes Climate. Sounds like a good idea. What does that mean?
Well, what does it mean? So She Changes Climate is the campaign to get women equally represented at international climate negotiations.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that women aren't equally represented in international climate negotiations?
That is exactly right. So although there is an official policy document called the Gender Action Plan, which was decided upon at COP25 and which the UK is a signatory to, and that stipulates that women have to be equally represented at all levels of international climate negotiations. Today, women are not equally represented, quite the opposite.
So, just how unrepresented are women with this year's lineup?
So, for example, the UK COP26 leadership team has only 2 female directors out of 12. That's
not
a sort of
equal
meager
representation.
16%, exactly. And if you looked at the world leaders who came to open this conference and who are officially the heads of the delegates, we only had 7% women. So I think there was 10 out of 140 leaders who were women.
So we have a long ways to go. I'm shocked that only last year at 25 did they even decide that this was something worth writing about. But what are you doing to change the situation?
So we set up this campaign to draw attention to this. We brought that to the UK government, and we thought that they would take one look at it and say, oh dear, true, let's change this, let's just appoint a few more women to the team of directors, and then we can both be in adherence to this policy and also show our leadership vis-a-vis the world, as champions of women and girls. Because as we know from Project Drawdown, we need women and girls so urgently. The UN SDGs don't beat around the bush about that as well. We need women and girls now as accelerators for climate action.
Absolutely. So in the realm of this negotiation, are you seeing any success from your work?
So they appointed a few more women, but that was 1 champion and 2 directors to the board. One of those directors was replaced. And what I would say, the greatest success we've had with this campaign was actually rallying female climate champions from around the world. So over 450 women, all leaders, scientists, politicians, writers, activists, signed our campaign. So we've been rallying these women. And hopefully this will continue as a collaboration going forward. And we've had also huge media interest in this. But I would say, if you ask me how I feel today, I'm deeply, deeply concerned because as much as I do, we need to set decisive action here.
Right.
And unless we bring new architects on board, we're just perpetuating the same thinking again and again. Yeah.
So what do we do next?
Well, we need to make sure that we've got women, equally on board. If we look at countries that have more female parliamentarians, we find that they have better climate policy and policy implementation, and the same with boardrooms as well.
And generally, statistically better governance outcomes across the board.
Exactly. We all know that diversity brings success, and we have to make sure, if we are serious about this, if we want to really see climate action, if we want to not hit climate chaos by the end of this decade, we need to bring in women as the key to unlock this challenge.
We do a list every year of the 50 women in climate in the Hub Culture community.
Yeah.
So I urge you to look at that.
Yeah.
There's an amazing list of, honestly, names I'd never heard before, but our editorial team by Edie Lush and Meg Thompson have found these women. What do you think the audience and our members can do to help drive this mission forward?
It's been really interesting to see the research shows that, for example, we're far less likely to retweet women or share their posts on social media. We're less likely to vote for women. We don't give women the voice if they're in a meeting, so 75% of the time, airtime is taken up by the people in the room that are not the women. So
which would be the men.
Sometimes. So what we need to do is we positively need to change this now. We need to bring in women into boardrooms. We need to give them the voice in a meeting. Apparently, if you let a woman chair a meeting, the other women in the room are more likely to speak up. We need to retweet them, we need to repost them, we need to generally elevate them, exactly, and amplify their voices. Because currently what is happening, we've got a minority trying to sort out this problem, and I think it's actually not fair on the men. If you think of who's designed the finance system, the energy system, the transport system, all these systems were designed actually without the input of women. Women traditionally had other roles to play. Now we're asking those same architects and builders of the existing systems to take them down and redesign them. Yeah, this is jolly hard. I'm not surprised, quite frankly, when we don't see the progress that we might like to see. So that is why we need to bring in new, fresh eyes, different brains to help sort this out.
Speaking from a male point of view, I can say that one of the things that I've learned recently is the power and value of holding space and listening. And this is something that I think traditionally women have done, but I really urge guys to try it because it actually is very satisfying.
Yeah.
And if you do it you're not being told to shut up to make way for someone else. What you're doing is intellectually and energetically holding space for this to happen. And it's actually hard work. It's almost as hard work, if not harder, than the person speaking and being amplified, to hold space for that person and to sit back and to connect in trying to support their voice. And so for guys who think that they're being told not to speak or to whatever, like they're somehow losing airtime from this, I would actually just urge you to see it a different way, because standing back and holding space to let someone else move forward is actually hugely satisfying if you're approaching it the right way. I know I've talked a lot in this conversation, but thank you very much for your insights. Now, before you wrap up, tell me quickly about your project and event happening tomorrow night. Even though this will be out after that, what is your intention with that?
So what we decided is, since women were missing, from every aspect of this COP, was to actually host a whole day, the She Changes Climate Day, which is, we're doing this, for the first time tomorrow, and are shining a light and celebrating all the female climate champions that were here, that we could get in this relatively short time to come and speak on various topics, from food to finance, biodiversity, to the creative side of things. We're opening with Emma Hard-Boyd, who's the UK chair of the Environment Agency, and finishing with a panel with Brian Eno, and that's going to be a Sisters and Brothers panel, which we're very excited about.
Great.
And I just want to invite everyone to come and join us and be there when we listen to the women.
We'll see the highlights online after the event, and we'll try to be there to hold space.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Bianca Pitt from She Changes Climate, thank you so much. Good luck. I look forward to seeing 50-50 or better at COP27.
Thank you very much.
You can get more conversations online at hubculture.com, and check out our podcast, the Hub Culture Chronicles, available anywhere you can pick that little podcast button.